Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cuddle with Purpose show with Samuel and TT Tierra Richardson. And we are excited to talk to you about our topic today in reference to Melody and Martell with their co-parenting, especially with the last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we about to get
Mhm.
into it. Let's go.
Yes, yes.
All right, I just love that intro. I love that intro.
It is a vibe.
Yes, it is. But let's get right into it, TT. I know we wanted to talk about the co-parenting off the last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville with Melody and Martell. So I'm going to let you start off the conversation on some things that you want to point out that was important for you to bring up in this episode.
Mhm. Well, just hey guys. But just to start off, I'm just happy that they've gotten to this point.
Hmm.
I felt that they could, but like Melody mentioned, everything takes time. And it was a whole lot of hurt, a whole lot of disrespect, a whole lot of chaos, and a whole lot of input from outside sources that really affected the process, the healing process, and just some growing up to do, I think, on both parts. But especially on Martell's part. It is so unfortunate to see that they are no longer the Holts, but it is also refreshing to see how resilient um, Melody is and how she is now Melody Cherie and how she's still thriving amid all the challenges. But yeah, child, it's a vibe just to see the fact that they are now coexisting.
Right.
And for Melody to say, "Oh, we can do a trip together," I was like, "I like this for us. I like this for our people because you don't see that often." I think the last time I saw something like that was Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys, and his ex-wife on the beach together for a family vacation. So
Yeah. I think it's so important, far as with effective co-parenting. And I think it has to be two mature adults that
mhm,
understand that the importance of it's not just about them anymore because things didn't work out, but you could still coexist and coincide with one another for the betterment or for the greater good of your children. And I think it's so very important is that sometimes people can lose sight of that and they can allow their emotions to get the best of them and they can start still reminiscing about what one person did wrong while they was together in the relationship, and it's really not about that anymore. It's about taking that side off and being able to create a positive barrier to understand we are past that in our life. What we need to focus on is for the betterment of our children and how we can coexist together so that way we can create a positive atmosphere. And that's what it's about with our brand with Cuddle with Purpose is making
yeah,
sure that you're coming together with purpose. And with purpose means coming together effectively, knowing that love is very important. Loving on your
mhm,
children, supporting your children, and being able to still support one another where you don't have to really be together as far as sexually and things of that nature, but you could be together for the betterment of the family dynamics.
perfectly said, babe. I actually wanted to go in depth
Hmm.
and look at what exactly is co-parenting
Yes, good.
because so often we hear the term thrown around, but I don't know if people really understand the gist of it.
Hmm.
So this is actually from the American Society for the Positive Care of Children. And they said, what is co-parenting? Co-parenting is a process where
Mm.
two divorced parents work together to raise a child or children. It doesn't matter if the parents don't live under the same roof anymore, as they both share physical and legal custody of their kids.
Mm,
In an effective co parenting situation, both parents understand the need.
mm.
Key
Ding, ding,
word,
ding, ding,
they
ding, ding.
understand the need to be an active participant in the life of their child.
Mm,
Co parenting has a positive impact on both kids and parents for a variety of reasons. Okay.
mhm,
First, children will still have both parents looking after them, which is so important because in so many cases, especially you have issues with the communication and the relationship of parents, you don't have where both are able to be involved because one is just being a pain in the ass, right?
mhm,
Also, you are able to provide guidance,
mhm,
love, and support. It's so refreshing to see how Melody has always opened up the doorway for Martell, even in his transgressions and the things that he did outside of the marriage, to still be able to show up and have that joint custody, and she didn't look at what he did to her in a relationship in a romantic way. She did not dismiss that. She made sure that he was still able to be an active participant in his children's lives. So he's able to still guide them, which
mhm,
they need. Girls need their fathers, sons need their fathers, as
mhm,
well as needing their mothers. He's able to love and support them.
mhm,
Children thrive when they have good relationships with both parents. So because they don't have to play, like they riding on the fence. They don't have to play hush hush and only talking a little bit because they know how the mama feel towards the daddy and all the craziness. Couples can share parenting duties on a set and sometimes flexible schedule because you're still able to share the responsibility so the weight isn't on either heavy. It may be heavy on some parts just because of the child living in a specific household more often, but overall, you can still share it. Dads who share a close bond with their children are more likely to pay child support. Yes, if you can see your child, you will be more prone and more wanting, more able, you know,
mhm,
more willing to say,
mhm.
you know what, I get to see the child that I'm taking care of.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even think she put him on child support. So kudos to them coming up with that.
Yeah, we definitely have to take a look at that because I'm not sure for a fact if that's the case. Nevertheless, though, TT, I think it's so very important to bring out accountability. And if you look into the very first start when there was, battling on both sides, back and
Mhm,
forth, there was a lot of arguing, and then it was being brought out to the public, which means it was airing out their dirty laundry on social media. They're
mhm,
already reality TV stars. So when you have that type of aspect in your
mhm,
relationship already, everything that you do is going to be magnified. And I think it's very important to elaborate on is that they both was still in their feelings. They both was
mhm.
dealing with, the public humiliation.
Yeah.
They both was dealing with the shame that comes with it. And
Mhm,
I think when you have, when Melanie start really bringing out, okay, then, now you put me behind the eight ball where I have to really tell the truth. No, truth be told, you've been cheating for 3 years. And I gave
mhm.
you 3 years to get your act together. And what we're
3
seeing,
whole.
yeah, 3 whole years, and what it brings out, it just shows the lack of commitment. It
Mhm,
shows the lack of desire to want. It's one thing to say out loud you want your family, but there's an
mhm,
old adage that says that actions will always speak louder than words, and if your
mhm,
actions is not louder than your words, then your words don't
mhm.
mean nothing. And that's what
Yeah.
we want to elaborate with Cuddle with Purpose. Is more about action and taking action on a consistent basis and trying to be the best version of yourself in your relationship than just talking good words and things sound good. Because if your actions don't line up, nothing is going to work out with purpose.
Mhm. Yeah. I also just liked how they communicated. with the
Mhm.
children during the trip. I thought it was so cute to
In
see.
Destine, Florida, that was the name of the
Yeah,
place they went to,
yes,
right?
that's in
Last
Florida.
episode?
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful place to vacation.
Mhm.
Um, I liked how they were so intentional
Mhm.
in asking the children, what is your favorite part of vacationing as a family? You know?
Mhm.
And in this last episode, you didn't hear anybody trying to break the other person down or
Mhm.
bring up too much of the past. I liked how when Melody was talking to her mother, as much as her mother seemed hesitant, she
Mhm.
did not allow the influence of her mother, like innuendos or subliminal whatever. You know how she was just seeming a little off, like she wasn't really like, I'm not sure if this is a good idea.
Mhm.
She might be feeling in her feelings because of some things that have gone down or have been said about her. Um, but she didn't let that stop her. She was just like, I'm not here to try to discuss anything from the past. I'm in a better place. I'm not trying to do anything more than do this for my children.
Right.
This wasn't nothing about her and how she felt. It was all about the children, child,
Absolutely.
the maturity, okay?
Yeah. 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 I think that's very important to bring out. And truth be told, I like the dynamics of Martell's mom being involved on that trip. And if you
Mhm,
notice, at to that point, Melanie's mom wasn't, present at the time. And I'm
mhm,
not sure if she came up or showed up later on that
mhm,
trip. But I will say is that it's very important that you have someone that's going to be of moral support, and
mhm.
that's not going to cause division in that
Right,
co-parenting dynamics. Because I
right.
think Martell mamas understand that, what, things didn't work out between y'all, but guess what? Y'all still got to do what's best for those children. That's what Martell mama said. And you can tell she has that mindset of that old school maturity. Is that it's not
Mhm,
about me, it's not about you. You
mhm,
had your time, you had your turn, and then
mhm,
you didn't want to work it out, but we have to work it out for the betterment of my grandchildren. And she
mhm,
just brings that loving dynamic, and it's going to be very interesting to see that it's been kind of a little messy when Melody's mom gets involved and she says little things, or just mostly by her looks, how
mhm,
her emotions and how her eyes roll and stuff like that. So, I think at the end of the day, focusing on it was good to see how both Melanie and Martell was talking about their children, how they were smiling, how they was laughing, how they went on the beach and played in the water, and how
mhm.
they was doing uplifting things. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about right now.
Yeah, and I also like how there were boundaries that were set.
Hmm.
I like how they were really intentional. Well, I'm sure if Martell had the opportunity, he would have slid right on up in there with her. But I really
Yeah, he
like
tried to do
how
it like he
she,
was playing, but
right.
he was trying to test
She
the
was like,
waters.
nah, bruh, ain't that type of party. But I really, really liked how she set the boundaries
Hmm.
and she didn't allow the fact of loneliness or past feelings to get in the way of the mission,
Right.
because we do know that intimacy in any form, whether they were hugging and not taking it further, it could have caused anything and caused mixed emotions. But
Yes.
I just like the level of maturity here again. And if she did have any desires, you wouldn't even know.
Hmm.
But that just kept a very clean line.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kept it straight to the point. Like there is no if ands about it. There's no questioning. There's no he can have all the hope in the world, all the hope in the world, wishing on a prayer that he had fucked up his whole family, right? However, she kept it cool, she kept it clean, she kept it classy, very graceful, very respectful. And I think that that's also one of the things that have always liked about her. just who she is as a woman and how she carries herself and her mindset. Do you know how hard it is for people to dismiss what has happened to them?
Mm.
How
Come
hard it
on
is
now.
for people to let go of the things that someone did to them, and then you still are having to coexist and be in someone's presence.
Mm.
The level of selflessness that she has for her children,
Yeah.
the level of resolve and just discipline and just all of that, just kind of like, it's good.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to healing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see in that whole entire process is timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about timing. And I feel like when you do the work, because time can pass by. However, if you do not do the work within that time, I'm
Mm.
sure she had to do a whole lot of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that she had to really have some strong discussions, but she did not hold him to what he did. She looked at the situation and said, you know what? I see a little bit of maturity in Martell.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of change. And I think that says a lot about just people in general. I feel like when you are able to look, and this is not for all situations. God knows, we know that some people are just meant to be cut off immediately. There's no point of return, and they don't have no rights, should have no rights in your life.
Right.
However, I do feel like she was able to really assess the situation and say, this is gonna be good for my children. And it's gonna be good for her too,
Yeah.
because she chose him as a father, you know? And also, it's nothing wrong with help. It's nothing wrong with saying, hey, let me let him have his children for these amount of days or weeks, because that gives me a break.
Mm-hmm.
For her to
Mm-hmm.
do the things that she's doing. I mean, she is thriving.
Yeah. And she's doing a lot of things. And I think, just kind of I want to bring up the situation just from a man perspective. Whether he want to takes ownership of it or not, it's very hard for a man to see when you had a woman, a down ass woman that
Okay.
was doing a lot of things and she was even protecting him even in his mess.
Right.
And I think it's very important just to bring out how better she's doing in life
Mm-hmm.
when they're not together anymore. And I think that right there is a powerful testimony to
Mm,
realize when you're with someone or if you're with a joker who don't
mhm.
respect you enough,
Right.
does not respect you enough on what you bring to the table. Sometimes
Okay.
sometimes things can happen in your life for a reason to allow
Mhm.
you to escape that relationship, to allow you
Mhm.
to have a good getaway, to run as fast as you can and don't look back. Because I think I think it's
It'll
so
be a pillar of dust.
remember what they told Sarah in the Bible? Sarah, don't look back. I don't care what you hear. I don't care all the noise that you're gonna hear with weeping and crying. Don't look back, Sarah.
Look back,
I,
Sarah.
I think it's so very important is that Melody didn't allow herself to look back,
Mm.
herself to move forward. And I think
Mhm.
it's anything that we can take from this is that co-parenting can be very effective if
Mhm.
you're able to keep moving forward and don't confuse yourself by looking back. If
Yeah.
you're able to live in the moment and able to say things didn't work out, I'm only moving forward and focusing on the betterment of my children, focusing on
Mhm.
betterment of this co-parenting thing. I'm still
Mhm.
going to just still live my life, but I know that he is the father, so I want to give him that opportunity to stay involved in the children's life. And when she
Mhm.
opened up that door, because it took time, you said that
Yeah.
earlier, it took
Mhm.
time. It takes time sometimes to go over that pain, to go over that
Mhm.
hurt sometimes. But when
Mhm.
you do get over it and you're able to move forward, man, you'll just be amazed on the things that you accomplish when you do that.
Yeah, because I was reading something. Something else came through my timeline. She's going to be speaking at some type of entrepreneur event in Arizona.
Mhm.
And she's going to be receiving the Entrepreneur of the Year award. And I thought it was so refreshing to see how she continues to thrive. I remember a couple of seasons ago, I believe, she kept reiterating how um, God was telling her, like, if you don't let go of him, he's going to block your blessings.
Mm.
If you don't, sometimes when you're attached to poison is kind of like, and I'm just paraphrasing here. You know, when they're talking about in the Bible, and they're like, cut it off, cut that dead, that no good, rotten piece of the body off in order to save the rest. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like she had to cut his ass off, and when she cut him off, he went down, but clearly he realized he needed to rise back up. But she was able to just continue with her real estate business.
Uh-huh.
She was able to rebrand her skincare line. She
Uh-huh.
came out with a whole nother cosmetic line. Here
Uh-huh.
now she has an interior design
Mhm.
line. And so, and they're all thriving.
Yeah.
They're all thriving, which just also speaks to what she was in the marriage and
Mm.
how the Holtz became the Holtz because he had a wonderful, strong, brilliant woman that was standing behind him.
Right.
But listen, I just love how she's still building something.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
things she always reiterates is that she just wants to continue to build something for her children so that their lifestyle does not have to change. And
Right.
she's so intentional about their lifestyle not changing that she has put in the work. And I feel like he tried to throw jabs at her at one point for her still building
Yeah.
with coming up with these scenarios. Oh, this person babysitting my child, or blah, 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 blah. First of all, these are people that you know. Secondly, she's a good mother.
Yes.
Thirdly, she's not going to put her children in harm's way, but she got to
Yes.
get to the bag. And the kids can't go everywhere she's gone. Oh, let's not even talk about the music career that she even started as well.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, it just only speaks to when you do decide to, or if you have to separate from someone, that you only become better.
Mm.
That you take the time that you need to heal, but you don't stop.
Right.
And what she did not do is stop. I mean, she went even harder. She even mentioned that when she had to turn over her her income and financial documents to her accountant, television was not at the top of the list as far as how much money she made. She made
Mhm.
more money from her businesses. And
Right.
it also speaks to her business practices and
Mm.
how she runs her business, which also speaks to her character
Yeah.
because people only want to do business with you because of mainly your character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I think that's the point. I think relationship is not easy. Marriage is not easy. When you're in a relationship with someone, it's not easy. But I don't want to end it off with that. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing and it takes
Right.
work. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of times people don't want to work at something and think
Mhm.
that things is going to come to them easy. It's not
Mhm.
all peaches and cream, but it's a beautiful thing because when both people put in the work and they are committed to one another, I think that is the important factor. When you are committed to one another, man, what y'all can accomplish together is limitless. There's nothing that you can't do if both people are willing to work together to be the best versions of themselves.
I would wholeheartedly agree. I was looking, doing my devotion, and then this morning I was listening
Mhm.
to one of these YouTube videos, and then it went into a video with TD Jakes, and he was talking about the power of the timing and how everything has to do with timing.
Mm.
And he touched on marriage and timing and
Mhm.
how it a great marriage don't happen even over a year, 2 years, 3. It happens over years.
Better talk.
It takes time. You gotta continue to work at that thing. We were just
Mhm,
discussing that the other day. We were talking about every day. It's an everyday decision. It's an everyday act.
mhm,
It's an everyday effort. It's an
mhm.
everyday thing.
Yes, it
It's a
is.
constant thing.
Yes.
And you have to continue to work on yourself. And one of the things that I really, really, really see within this particular dynamics between, because they're not a couple anymore, but this family, I would say, because they're still a family, is the fact that they've been working on themselves. And then within any relationship, in order for there to be progress, in order for you to make strides, everybody has to work on themselves as individuals,
Absolutely.
because you would see even more. It's not about changing the other person all the time, because you can't do that. We're all grown, right?
Mhm.
But if we as individuals work on ourselves, then the other person will only be bound to work on themselves unless they just want to be cut off completely, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing this next episode and
Yes.
seeing how this family vacation played out, and if they're going to be able to continue this in the future.
Yeah, so y'all stay tuned. Hey, y'all can find us on YouTube on Cuddle with Purpose. You can find us on Instagram with Cuddle with Purpose, where we talk about love, we talk about respect, we talk about marriage, relationships, we talk about reality TV, we talk about pop culture, and that is the essence of our brand. So we definitely will love you to be able to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and share, and hit that bell notification so that way all of our new subscribers and current subscribers can be updated when we post new content y'all way. We appreciate y'all. We love each and every one of you, and we're praying for full prosperity and good health and fortune continue to come in your life on a consistent basis.
Yes, and I also would like to add to that, that if you would like to come on the Cuddle with Purpose show,
Yes.
and you would like to have a good old discussion with us, or you want to share some awesome things that's happening in your life, in your relationship, in your experiences with our audience, we would love to have you on, because we do know that there are some dynamic people that's out there, and we just want to be able to connect with you.
And I'm going to put our email on there as cuddlewithpurpose@gmail.com.
Mhm.
Put it there, just put it out there. So that way, if you would like it to actually, like TT said, come on our platform and we just have a good old discussion, email us at cuddlewithpurpose@gmail.com, and we'll definitely reach out to you, and then we'll move forward from there. We appreciate everyone. We hope y'all have a wonderful day and take care, and always stay blessed.
Cuddle with
Cuddle
Purpose.
with Purpose.